What is up, YouTube? Check this out, man. Golly, Cassie, male escort. I'm trying to watch what I say. I was the one who was assaulted. Man. Hey, this is breaking. Cassie, freak-off worker, tells it all. Extreme details is revealed. Hey, if y'all got kids, get the kids out the room, put your earbuds on, because I checked out some of this and I said, man, we got to do a reaction to this. I cannot believe half the stuff that he's saying. But this is the second interview I've seen him in, and the dude sound like he's straight. I mean, he's straight telling the truth. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, baby. Thank everybody for hitting that subscribe button and hitting that bell. Hey, let's check this bad boy. Yeah. She got, wait a minute, let's go ahead and fast forward.
Call me. Dave, how you doing? Okay. So we got Dave.
She remind me of
Dave
somebody.
Was the gentleman that reached out to me about a year and a half ago, I want to say. About a year ago. It's been that long. It's been a long time. And, he had said, he at first, called in saying that, his brother was a freak-off worker to Diddy. And then he later told me it was him because he had to gain some type of trust with me. We did leak the recordings, of course, but we didn't leak no identity. We got wine to spill. And so, when he came back during the trial, because he was subpoenaed by the grand jury and due to testify against Cassie, I don't know if they used his testimony or not, because his lawyer, and he's going to explain that more, Tyrone Blackburn, we told y'all about that nigga, okay? Tyrone Blackburn apparently, I guess, told the judge about the book that he was writing. Cassie, I guess let me get the name of the book real quick so I can make sure we got it right. So the name of the book is Victim or Co-Conspirator, okay? And so he was due to testify, and apparently, I guess, the lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn, has it out for Diddy. He has other clients that are suing Diddy, and so he kind of needs Diddy in jail because Diddy gonna come back and sue his ass if he don't go to jail. Ended up submitting a motion and ended up getting the book removed from Amazon that Dave was writing, or that he wrote. And I don't think they used his testimony at all, because he was planning to testify against Cassie, because he, according to him, was with Cassie over 10 years and was one of the main guys that she called for the freak-offs, okay? And apparently she trusted him. And so, is Dave ready?
He's back there, but I don't see his camera on.
Dave, we need your camera on. Let me text. Okay. Dave, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I do, but you breaking up. There you go. Hey, Dave, your internet, man. Where you at?
Listen, I live in central New Jersey in the woods. The internet is horrible out here, but I'm making it. I'm surviving.
Okay, cool. All right. Welcome. Finally, we got a face.
Here we go.
Welcome.
To the voice.
It's been like a year and a half. I like the fact that you approached what happened before. That was smart. Thank you.
Here we go. Y'all better check this one out right here.
Because I knew you was gonna get in my ass. So I was like, let me go ahead and put it out there. Because you were one of the first ones to reach out, and you trusted me, and I did not leak your identity. You saw that, but it was the voice. Yes, it was the voice, and you were upset about that because you were like, Tasha, you should have did that. But I was just like, I got thirsty winos. They want to know.
And they got a right to know. People deserve to know the truth. You're right about that.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I'm glad that we're both here. I wish it was in person, but we had to make it do what it do. So you were subpoenaed before the grand jury, of course, in the Diddy case.
I was. Let me help you out, though. I want to correct a couple of things because Tyrone Blackburn is a lawyer. He will try to sue you. So he's
don't know
me. You're about to know me, too. So what he did is, Tyrone was aware that I wrote this tell-all memoir about Cassie since January of this year. But I think he thought that I was playing. So, I contacted him like, listen, man, I'm a victim. She did some things to me that that I'm trying to file a civil action for, and I believe the story should be told. So I entertained the fact that I was going to write this book. I started writing the book, but I really didn't finish until he told me that Douglas Wigmore insulted me and called me a dirty sex worker. And Tasha, I got pissed. You said I can curse, so I can say this. I got so pissed because I'm like, hold on. This bald head white man calls me a dirty sex worker when his client is the one who pulled off the condom and initiated unprotected sex with me. Oh, hell no. So I finished the book off. So now when I finish the book, Tyrone says, yo, you cannot release that book. If you release that book, it's going to be favorable to Diddy and he might get off. I said, listen, man, I'm going to release the book. It's my story. I'm going to release the book. So now Diddy's team subpoenas my records for the book. What Tyrone does is he submits what's called a motion to squash, which is to squash the subpoena so he doesn't have to turn over the book. And he lies and tells a federal judge that the book is actually privileged notes for the lawsuit that's going to be filed. And that's a complete lie. I gave him a separate statement of facts, and I also had a 90-word manuscript.
Okay.
Yes.
Slow down because you were breaking up just a little bit. Okay. So you said he filed a motion to squash. He didn't want the book released. He didn't want the prosecution or Diddy's team to have your book.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So he filed the motion to squash. Because I was going to release it. I had put an Amazon pre-link, the one I sent to you. I had an editor who was contacting people. I believe my editor contacted TMZ. He might have contacted you also. He contacted a few people to get me before a podcast because I want to tell my story and it promotes the book. So when Tyrone saw the Amazon link, he realized, oh crap, this guy really did write a book. That's when it became a problem. And so like I was saying, Diddy's team, I believe it was what's the attorney's name? The one that did the Young Thug trial. Brian Steele. Brian Steele. They subpoenaed the book. Tyrone contacts me maybe, I want to say, the second week of May, saying, listen, they subpoenaed your book. They cannot get that book. I'm going to submit a motion to squash. I said, well, why can't they get the book? The U.S. Attorney's Office knows that I've said all of this stuff about Cassandra. It's not like it's new stuff. They know. I've been telling them for a year. He says, dude, that book would destroy her. I said, well, if I have to give him the book, I want to give him the book. He says, all right, let me take care of it. So I find out maybe, I think it was like May 17th, May 15th, that he submitted this motion to squash where he completely lied to the judge Samaranian, and he claimed that my book was actually privileged notes. Now that's a lie because the book is not privileged notes. So the judge orders him to turn over the manuscript. I believe I contacted him a week after I find out the judge orders him to turn over the manuscript. And I asked him, I said, hey, did you turn over that manuscript? He said, hell no. Why would I do that? Are you crazy? No, if I turn over this manuscript, you're going to blow this case apart. I said, Tyrone, listen, I don't want a problem. Turn over the book. My phone dies. So now when my phone starts back up, I sent him a text message. Listen, brother, I don't want a problem with a federal judge. I'm going to release this book. Turn over the manuscript. I don't believe he still turned over the manuscript to the defense.
And I remember you reaching out because you said, hey, I'm getting ready to write a book and I want to do an interview. Yes, I do plan to testify in favor of Diddy because you were, according to you, the main one that Cassie called for almost 10 years of the relationship. And so...
Another correction. 8 years, because I don't want you to be sued for anything. 8 years.
8 years. Okay. And so maybe I got 10 years because they were together 10 years. So I'm just kind of stuck on how long they were together. But I know it took some time for him to warm her up to doing freakoffs and things like that. And so, but the judge had ordered too, because we were getting ready to do your interview and help you to promote your book and stuff like that. But then the judge said that you guys couldn't speak to media at all.
Exactly. And so I can't speak to media. You've heard my name mentioned probably a dozen different times in this trial. I'm in the actual freak-off video. Several of the videos, unfortunately, are me covered in baby oil in a room with Cassandra Ventura. I have no clue why they not called Daniel Phillip. Daniel Phillip and I were in an orgy with Sean Combs. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Went out for a second.
Yeah, you said Daniel Phillip?
Daniel Phillip. I met Daniel Phillip in an orgy at Cassie's apartment in one of the Trump buildings in Midtown Manhattan. I believe it was 2011. That's where I met Daniel Phillip in an orgy where I was called by Cassie to have a sexathon. And basically the goal of this sexathon was for one of us to last the longest. Whoever lasts the longest was gonna become her main boy toy. Tasha K, I see your face. This is the truth. So for 2 days, myself and Daniel Phillip, we participated in this sexathon, Sex and Cassie. Daniel Phillip hung in there, but I think the morning, I think it was a Wednesday morning actually. I think the morning of the wrap up of the thing, he finally couldn't participate anymore. Not because something's wrong with him. He had been up 2 days. He's back to back having sex with her. He was tired, so he couldn't perform anymore. But I still could. So I finished her off. You know, I end up winning. Diddy comes out the room after he carries her in the other bedroom. He pays Daniel Phillip. Daniel Phillip leaves. He comes to me. He tells me out of his own mouth. He says, "Listen, she said you were the best penis she ever had in her life." Wow, really? He said, "Yeah." He says, "Yo, she wants you to come back. She just needs some time to rest." What? I said, "All right." Now I had been there 2 days, Tasha. I needed to go to work. I was an optician. I don't even think I was escorting anymore at the time, because I only started escorting because I was in prison. I got released. I had a great body. I was good with women. So someone hired me to be an escort. So maybe a year or two into it, I stopped. I got a job. I was an optician. I was trying to get my life together. I didn't have time for that. But Cassie paid me so well. It was kind of like a no-brainer. Beautiful woman, $5,000 every time I got to break her down. What? 30 years?
Rico said during our interview last week that the pay was $5,000.
Wow.
5,000. I only got less than 5,000 one time, and that's the time Diddy drugged me. He gave me $1,500 to go home because I was completely drugged out of my face off of something he gave me. But every other time I got 5,000. The time with Daniel Phillip and winning this orgy, I think I got like $11,000 in total from winning the orgy, then coming back and dusting her off again. I had an extensive history with Cassie. I see your face. You're like, oh my God, yeah.
How many hours did you go?
Oh, the longest I ever had sex with her was 4 days in Miami. You had to put your glasses on for that one.
Okay, now hold on for a second. So when you have sex for 4 days,
4 days,
do you stop to pee? Do you take breaks? What happens?
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know something?
You gotta stop.
People don't realize something. Diddy is rich. He's as rich as a king. I don't know if you've ever seen the HBO TV series Rome, like where there was with the Julius Caesar series Rome that they had years ago on HBO.
No, but I'm sure my husband has watched it. He watch all them type of shows. But
okay, a couple of years, HBO had a series, and in this series they had like Cleopatra, Mark Antony. They were smoking opium. They had a bunch of slaves in there that she was sleeping with that had larger members than Mark Antony. This is what a freak off really was. I was made to be completely naked, baby oil, and basically kept on standby for every time Cassie needed to come. And I would be called to make her come. I didn't have to eat her vagina. I didn't have to kiss her, even though she kissed me, which is disgusting now that I know she was letting people urinate in her mouth. But this is the whole point of
she's spinning around. Oh my God.
Man. Oh my God.
Keep going. You are an excellent storyteller, and we look forward to this book. I'm gonna give you a week's worth of promotion on this book across all my platforms. That is on me for keeping your word, for coming through here, and for dropping this wine. We are going to heavily promote. Get his ass on the roster. Go ahead, keep going.
Wow,
I promise you, I would tell you the truth because that's what this is about. You know, Diddy might have did a lot of bad stuff. He's horribly abusive to women. We all know this. This is his track record, but he does not deserve an unfair trial. And if there's evidence that says that Cassie's involved, they should not be holding that to make her look like this holier than art thou battered woman.
Well, that's true.
He was abusive, but he wasn't abusive because she didn't want to have sex. That's the exact opposite. He was abusive because he would catch us having sex behind his back. She would emasculate him about his penis size because he's not that big. She would always get smart with him. And Diddy, from what I saw, Diddy is although he's incredibly successful, he's incredibly insecure. His ego is on everything. He would compete with me to try to sleep with Cassie better than me while he was paying me to do it, which was insane. An example, let's say I'm having sex with her. She comes, she's laying in the bed. She's like, oh my God, shaking. I usually would get up and stand off to the side to let him watch her react to coming. He would jump on top of her right after and try to have sex with her, I guess, to make her come again. Now, I'm 3 times larger than him, I would probably say, just off a glance. I never had a sexual relationship with him. I need to say that because you have a...
Facts. Oh, he's
in a room with this guy for 8 years. So it's like playing on basketball. When you're walking around with people in the basketball team, you're going to see things you don't want to see. So unfortunately, I saw Sean Combs' member. It's not big. So I believed Cassie when she said, yo, listen, my husband has a small penis. I'm hiring you because you can satisfy me. He likes to watch. I had absolutely no reason to doubt that she was telling the truth to that.
Did he have a micro penis or something?
It just was small. God. You know, big pockets, little member. That's just what it was.
Oh, man. My God.
Big pockets. You know, and women don't care. No disrespect. Women don't care when you got a lot of money. Listen, you got a lot of money. We can get around that. He got enough money. She was a young, horny girl. She liked to have sex. And this was the arrangement. He took her around. They would have these freak-offs because she was into the swinger lifestyle. She tried to take me to strip clubs. She invited me to swinger parties. She would talk to me about the lifestyle and how her and Sean like to sometimes get together and get with other couples. So I was completely dumbfounded when I heard the fact that she was saying she was made to have these sexual relationships. And I'm like, when? I never saw you being forced. I never saw you being afraid. The only time I saw you afraid is when he would catch you nutting behind his back when you told me to do it. So what are you talking about, you know?
Nutting behind his back. So which means like...
Good example. I remember a situation, he got a phone call. So the rules of these freak-offs or swinger parties was if he's watching as a voyeur, we can't do anything sexually when he's not there. And that's a basic trust issue between men and women who are involved in a swinger relationship. If you allow someone in your bedroom, you're expecting that person to follow the rules. Usually, if you're dealing with a couple where the man is consenting to you sleeping with his wife, the man is in control of that situation. So if he doesn't want you to do it, you can't. That's just the swinger lifestyle. And anyone who knows about the swinger lifestyle knows I'm telling the truth. If you've gone out and got someone in your bedroom, let's say for your husband, even if the woman likes the guy, she still has to defer to her husband because when that man leaves, you still got to live with your husband. It's common sense. So this is what Cassie would do. She would defer to Diddy just to make sure he was okay with the fact that she was giving me head, that she might want to keep having sex. And Cassie was insatiable. Diddy never made her have sex with. He never insinuated, yo, why don't you take some D? He never said that. She would go, she would tell him I'm ready. He would say, okay, you could start. He would watch, but he would be more of a protector. He would make sure nothing happened to her. He was incredibly protective of her.
They didn't put you or Rico on the stand.
No, because they knew we were going to say that she was complicit. And it's nothing wrong with her being complicit. He's still guilty of sex trafficking. Like, look at all the stuff they're exposing. In order to be guilty of sex trafficking and this RICO that they're charging him with, he basically just has to know about it, have benefited in some way, and financed it, which he clearly all did by booking rooms in the name of Frank Black. Mind you, I've checked into Frank Black rooms probably 15 times. Every room I checked into from Miami, LA, New York, I checked in under Frank Black. So I could verify that. The abuse, I physically saw him assault her at least 5 times. I can verify that. I got her pregnant. She told me I got her pregnant to my face. Let's see. It was a lot. I have no...
Wait a minute. That is a lot. Wait a minute. You got her pregnant? This guy is spilling some beans, ain't he? Wow.
No reason why they did not call me other than the fact I released that book and they were afraid that if the fence got to me and they started asking me about Cassie, I was going to say, yo, listen, no, that didn't happen. He didn't do that.
And yeah, as a millionaire, as anybody, you can't solicit prostitutes and pay them. Like, it is against the law and it carries a long time. It's teetering the lines of being a pimp.
It is.
You know, and they take that kind of stuff serious. And even though girls are, it's crazy how the pimps get more time than the actual prostitutes.
It is.
Like, I feel like they have to do some changes when it comes to the laws behind that, because if girls are choosing to have a pimp and the pimp is there to protect them and ensure that they're not getting mistreated during their, I guess, encounters with men and stuff like that. And they have to pay the pimp for protection because, like, how is he going to make money? I don't know. I just feel like, you know, to me, even though, yeah, he did all this shit, but I feel like the feds, they love a big cash out. $400 million is at stake that they're going to seize. I don't even think he'll have money for an appeal. They're going to have to go straight for a pardon. And then they'll be able to keep all of that. The Justice Department will inherit $400 million that was, I guess, made off of sex trafficking or illegal criminal crimes using his organization, bad boy records and all that stuff. And meanwhile, they get to retire off of that money. And it's like, why can't he retire off? Why are you allowed to get retire off of money that you say is made illegally, and y'all get to use it to pay federal witnesses and pay for y'all retirement as well too? The money should be burned, right? Nobody should get the money.
True. And it should definitely go to the true victims. Some of the male prostitutes, as this has happened to, have I'm in law school. I've completely changed my life. I was a male escort 15 years ago. I went back to school. I'm trying to get a law degree now. So this coming up at this point in my life is incredibly embarrassing, but I realize it's something I have to deal with. So when I actually started looking into what I was involved with this whole RICO and sex trafficking thing, considering I studied the law, I started reading the statute. I read a bunch of cases, and I realized that the primary witnesses in sex trafficking cases are usually like drug addict women that were prostitutes, they robbed men, etc. But they're usually always the crux of the government's case. What the prostitutes say are pretty much what is verbatim, and that's what gets a pimp convicted. Look at Diddy's case. Look at how all of the male escorts, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, are pretty much telling you Cassie's involved. Why are they not listening to any of us? They literally throw our faces out there, our information's out there. They're not trying to protect any of us. They don't give a damn. They're throwing us out there. They used us for material, and then they literally just left us out to be left to just to the wolves and to the media. They would have never did this to women who were caught up in the sex trafficking ring. These they prostitutes.
Do protect them. They do protect women.
They protect them. I got people contacting me online. You're showing these videos. My name is coming up in all of the transcripts. I had Tisa Tells. Oh my God, Tisa Tells makes the most slanderous, defamatory video on me. She says that Diddy flipped me as a schmex worker. Diddy never flipped me. I haven't talked to Diddy since 2019. I've been a cooperating prosecution witness the entire prosecution. How could you make up a podcast claiming that Diddy flipped me? Diddy never flipped me. I'm not talking to Diddy. I'm telling the truth. Now, because I'm telling the truth, and you're advocating for Diddy to go to jail because you build a platform of making him look like a complete piece of crap, which he actually is, you don't want to put anything out that says that Cassie might be complicit. You want to keep making Cassie look like a victim. Whoa. Cassie's a victim of domestic violence, Tasha. We can't take that away from her. He did horrible things. I saw him two-piece on the chest, and if you don't know what that means, that's a 1-2 punch, a jab, and a right hand. I saw him hit her like that and knock her across the room. I saw him kick her. I saw him grab her up. I saw him pull her by her hair. I saw him push her. He was abusive to her, but it wasn't because of sex. It was because he's an abusive man and they were in a toxic, drug-fueled relationship. Their emotions are going. They're high off drugs for days. He's getting jealous because other guys are piping her out and she's enjoying it. Even though he's letting her do it, he's still getting jealous because these other men are giving her more pleasure. She argues with him. He doesn't know how to deal with it. He hits her. That's not him forcing her to have sex.
Wow.
So what was the hotel video about? Like they said that there was a freak off going on then, and they're saying that he pulled her back in the room because he wanted her to finish and that he had paid the sex worker. But I did hear, and I can't remember if it was testimony or not, or just, blogs talking. Cause I'm not following the case every day because, we've been talking about Diddy for years. And so this is just kind of overkill at this point. It's overkill. But I was told that she had took his phone or something like that. And he was trying to get his phone back. And so what was that? Did you know the specifics of that particular freak off and what happened?
Wow.
I don't, but I have something to say about that. From what I've read about that freak off, they were with another guy, Jules Theodore. Now, Jules, if there was a male escort in the room, why didn't that male escort testify to the fact that Cassie was trying to escape? Here's what I believe. I believe that guy would have testified that the argument was not because Cassie was trying to escape the freak off. It was probably because she was jealous because he was texting other women from his phone. Because I saw her get like that. She would watch to see who he was texting. She was his girlfriend. She gets jealous. He's a billionaire and he's a hoe. She know he got a bunch of girlfriends. She know he don't want her. So of course she's on some she's on a stance where she has to make sure that this guy is not cheating on her. She wants to know. So they probably were in the room. She went through his phone. She might have saw something. She thought he was texting a woman. She decided to leave. They got into a fight. He got caught up. Now, here's the interesting part. I heard during this trial when I was watching that about 3 weeks after, they had a freak off in Miami with me. These are the texts that I heard. Now, they have this fight. She gets beat up. She has to recover. A couple of weeks later, they decide to have another freak off. She tells him they need to change the energy. They need to change the person. The next thing they do is fly to Miami. They call me. Okay. How is this someone who's being sex trafficked? And she clearly tells you we need to change the enemy. Then she calls the same guy, because this was what, 2016, 2015 when he beat her? By then, I was sleeping with her 6 years, 7 years by then. She deliberately calls me from New York to have sex with her in Miami 3 or 4 weeks after he beats her up in his hotel and is making her have sex. Make it make sense. She's lying. She was a part of this. They were fighting probably because he had a woman. She didn't like that. He beat her up. She got over it because the truth is she was in love with him. She was extremely in love with him. She talked about it all the time. She wanted to have kids. She wanted to get married with him, which I thought was weird because I'm thinking you're letting me slut you out, but you want this guy to marry you? How is he supposed to respect you? But I never asked questions, Sasha. They're paying me. It's not my job to ask questions. It's my job to satisfy. So that's exactly what I did. That's what I have to say about that assault, though. I think that assault, I think they were fighting over his phone. I think she got mad. She tried to leave the room, and the male escort in the room can verify that. That's why he didn't testify. Because it makes no sense why myself or Jules Theodore, the two escorts they mentioned the most and the longest, haven't testified. It's probably because we're going to testify against Cassie, and they don't want that.
Well, why didn't the defense team call y'all?
I don't know. I can only assume that they might not know what I intend to say, which is probably the case. They don't know that I intend to say, listen, he did beat her. He did the things that they're saying, but she was involved also.
So it's just safer to just leave you off because you may end up doing something.
Exactly. And I can kind of understand that. Listen, it's safer. We don't really know what this guy is going to say. It's safer to just leave him out. But I know why the government's not. I know why the government's not calling me. They don't want me to say what I'm going to say about Cassie because they know it's all the truth.
Were you in love with Cassie?
Absolutely not. You can't be in love with a woman who is basically allowing herself to be slutted out, if I want to say that respectfully. When I first started sleeping with her, I'll be honest, I had an emotional connection to her. I had an emotional connection to her the entire time. I can't lie.
Respectful slut. What? Oh my God. Here we go.
I want to say that respectfully. When I first started sleeping with her, I'll be honest, I had an emotional connection to her. I had an emotional connection to her the entire time. I can't lie. We had unprotected, drug-fueled hot sex for years. There's no way I couldn't develop some type of feelings for her as a person. But I can't say I was ever in love with her. I knew she was Puff's. I knew she was addicted to the money. I knew she was addicted to the lifestyle because that's the only way a woman could stay in a situation with a man that's punching him in the chest and be okay with it. And I didn't want to go through that. I'm a 90s baby. I always remember the R. Kelly Down Low video where Ronald Isley took him out to the desert and beat the crap out of him for dealing with his girl. I don't want to be that with Puffy. So I'm not trying to take Puffy, girl. Okay, Puffy, this is your chick. You like to see her get slutted out. I'm going to slut her out. You going to pay me. I'm going to go about my business. That was it.
I heard that she had quoted and said at one point when they were like, why don't you leave Puffy? And she's like, well, who would I go to? Jay-Z is taken.
Yeah, she think about it. Puff was, Puff is destroyed now. He's destroyed. He'll never be back where he was. But at one point, Puff was the man. It was a privilege to go to a Puffy party. It was a privilege to go to a white party. She's dating Puff. Puff is one of the most powerful producers in the game. Women have been using men to boost their careers for decades, for eons. And she's a 19-year-old girl. She has this super producer businessman that likes her. He's into her sexually. Of course, she's manipulating him like he's manipulating her. He's manipulating her. She's letting him manipulate her by use of her vagina and trying to manipulate him into things she wants. I personally think she just wasn't as good as Young Miami. Young Miami leveled up off Puff in that short time she was with him. Cassie was with him a decade and had a Jaguar and nothing. I don't understand how that is other than ambition and really on her. She can't really blame him for that, for things that she didn't do. And that's another thing. I'm going to say that because there were times where I actually heard him ask her about her music. Like, yo, you made music. What you doing? What you doing with yourself? Oh, you know, I'm chilling right now. I'm looking for inspiration. And I heard this from her for years that she wasn't doing anything. He would ask her, he'd be like, yo, you playing, you don't want to do nothing, but why should she have to do something? She's dating him. So she was comfortable. She didn't really need to do that. I totally believe that she allowed herself to get into a situation where she got drug fueled, where she got lazy, and she lost track of herself because she got involved with this guy who got her in. And I do believe he got her into the things. She might have been a hoe, but there's no way a 19-year-old girl knows about the swinger lifestyle like the way Cassie was playing. Somebody introduced her to that, and I totally believe Puff did that.
Puff did. I mean, he talked about it on a reality show of his. Said he didn't want to get married because he was into the swinger lifestyle, and so he's always kind of been upfront about that. So, but he said 75% of the time you're gonna have the best time of your life with me. The other 25%, I'm gonna beat your ass and you're gonna hate it. But they kind of knew what came with that. And so, do you know, being that you was with her for so long, how did Alex Fine get in the picture?
I believe he was hired to be her personal trainer, which makes perfect sense because the only way anybody would have got close enough to her to build a relationship is if Puff gave the green light. I got close to her because Puff gave the green light. Nobody would have got close to her without the green light. So Puff hired this guy to be a personal trainer. Cassie's dope. I'm not even gonna play her as a person and say like, you know, she's a liar. She's an excellent conversationalist. She's very intelligent. She's easy to be around. So her and this guy probably was working out. He started realizing she was damaged. She's a beautiful woman. Why not date her? He starts dating her. They hook up. The rest is history, which I'm happy for that. She deserved to be happy. She always wanted kids. I remember when she and I actually had the whole pregnancy scare, she was actually really disappointed at the fact she had an abortion. You know, and so was I to an extent because I had no kids. But look at the situation. You know, I'm the male escort that your rich ex-boyfriend paid to bust you down. Now you're going to have a trick baby. So I totally understood the fact of why she did it.
Baby, not a trick baby.
Trick baby. That's what it is.
That's a new one. I gotta use that. I'm gonna have to take that one. Bitch, you got a trick baby. Oh my God. Now, when we spoke the last time, you said that Puff had called you for Young Miami.
I believe it was Young Miami. I don't want to be wrong because I believe it was like 2019, but I believe he called me for Young Miami when he called me in 2019. And that's probably where you got 10 years from because I actually knew Puff for 10 years from 2009 to 2019. Okay. When is the last time he called me? He's like, yo, what's up? What you doing? I was shocked. I hadn't heard from him since 2017. I'm like, whoa, what's up with you? He said nothing. Y'all want to see if you want to come to Miami. We want to know what's good with you. So I'm assuming it's them. I think it was around Christmas too, because it was December. So I'm like, yo, you know, I got to get Christmas gifts. This is free money. I could bust it down. I'm gonna wear a condom because at that point I would never sleep with her unprotected again. I had found out she burned me with chlamydia, and I believe it was like 2015 or 2016. Yeah, man. I found out about that. So I stopped sleeping with her unprotected. Like I started wearing condoms. I refused to not wear condoms anymore. But I would have still went to sleep with her as long as I wore a condom and was paid. I was like, you know what? You can probably handle it. Discussed it, whatever. I get down there. I go meet him in this hotel. I get to the hotel. He's not there with her. He tells me, you know, I got another a lady here. She's nice. You're going to like her. Go to your room. Go chill. I'll call you later. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know, I was a little disappointed because at that stage in my life, I didn't really believe in just sleeping with completely random women anymore. So it was kind of gross. I remember I had an ex-girlfriend who lived in Miami at the time. So I called her up. We went to dinner. I ended up spending the night with her. Totally forgot about Puff. Woke up the next morning, look at my phone. I got a million texts from this guy like, yo, you played yourself. I fooled you here. Where you at? I'm like, oh, shit. Puff is mad at me. Okay. I call him up. He's like, yo, come up to my room. I said, all right. I go up to the room. I said, listen, I was with my ex. I show him a picture. He's like, yo, she's nice. You want to stay? I'll pay her. I'm like, dude, no, you're not taking my girl. Absolutely not, dude. Absolutely not. I ain't dumb. That's Puff Daddy. You know, I could have the biggest penis in the world.
She would have been gone. She would have been gone.
Big penis get away. The only thing that get around big penis is big pockets. She would have been going. I knew this. So I'm like, no thanks, Puff. I'll pass. He tells me, he's like, yo, you know, she's in Miami, his girl in Miami on a photo shoot. And I was like, who is that? So when I looked at my phone and I tried to figure out what was going on, I saw that this girl, Miami, was in Miami. It was in Hawaii, like I think the day or something before, so I figured it was her.
Damn. There was one sex worker. He did an interview. He ended up, I guess, trying to kill Trump. Did you see that interview with that sex worker?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he said that he got paid $5 million because he contracted herpes.
From Diddy? From Cassie, Diddy. I believe him. He's the one who, when I saw that interview, I knew that the things he was saying was the truth, because I didn't see Jonathan Odie's interview till 2021. And when I saw it,
dang, young. Here goes somebody else is saying that I knew that his interview was the truth, because I'm gonna let y'all know, man, when I first saw that with that hospital gown on he had and he was talking to the police, I thought he was still on drugs. Come find out, everything he was saying was right.
He said I was a sex slave for Cassie. It was like, oh my God, this guy's talking about my life. This was me.
Who the hell? He was making this shit up because he was like trying to kill Trump, and then he comes out with this interview talking about, yo, I was a sex slave, and we looking like, what? Where the fuck they get this dude from? Like,
nobody
but
believed him.
He was younger. He was more attractive. Just like me, I'm older now, but at the time I was bigger, I was younger, I was more attractive. It was easier if you were in that lifestyle and you had a certain type of body, the chest, the arms. It wasn't really hard to be noticed by the right people. So I got noticed by Cassie, and that was pretty much history.
So, Jesus Christ. How did Cassie Walls, I know I'll never be able to ask her this question, but her vagina walls.
What?
I'll be fair to her. I don't want to make myself. I don't want to make myself sound like I'm trying to aggrandize myself. But I used to, when Cassie and I would have sex, I would probably take less than 20 strokes to make her orgasm. I never orgasm really, because the problem was the fact that she's not tight and the baby oil. The baby oil was a problem. The baby oil kind of made sex impossible for a man to enjoy. The baby oil made a loose vagina, looser than it needed to be. So it was literally like it was like being in hell, being constantly tormented, like I was going to have an orgasm, but never being able to have an orgasm because she wasn't tight enough to make me orgasm. But she's orgasming back to back. I mean, I'm in her 20 strokes. Oh my God, she's squirting all over the bed. And then I'm like, yo, can I get something? Oh, I need a second. I think there was a period where I had sex with Cassandra, and this is the truth. I don't think I had one orgasm in 6 months every time I met her. It was so bad. I used to leave her and go out around Miami to bars and find women to sleep with just to have an orgasm, because I'd be sleeping with her for days and not have orgasm. It was like the worst situation of blue balls a man could imagine.
Oh my God. What? Wait a minute. Pump the brakes. Oh my God, this is crazy. What's up, Vanessa? Don't forget we live when we're doing these reactions, y'all.
Miami to bars and find women to sleep with just to have an orgasm, because I'd be sleeping with her for days and not have orgasm. It was like the worst situation of blue balls a man could imagine.
Look at her. Oh my God.
You said 20 strokes and squirting?
Yeah, definitely. And this was for years.
Retired? You said you retired?
Yeah, I'm retired. I've been retired for.
Why you want some?
Why is he retired?
She must want some, y'all.
And the craziest part, my mother was actually a minister.
Oh gosh, y'all are the men and the women that come up in the church under y'all be the biggest hoes, for real.
Yeah. So it was kind of embarrassing to her. It definitely was. I had to get out of that. It's never something I would do again.
What? What?
That is absolutely insane. Because I was just wondering, I was like, her walls, and then baby oil has fragrance and stuff in it. I'm like, I know she had, and she talked about it in court, she could get rid of the bacterial infections and stuff like that. They were just so reoccurring. Antibiotics didn't work.
How do you think I feel hearing all of this disgusting stuff that she's saying in court, especially being urinated in her mouth? Like, she asked me to urinate on her. I said, you expect me to have sex with you after I piss on you? That's gross. I'm not doing that. And she was like, you don't like that? I'm like, no, that's nasty. Well, who would want to have sex with you after urinating on you? She said, no, it's something I really enjoy. Tasha, she explained to me why she liked being pissed on. She told me she likes the warm feeling of urine running down her body, this nasty chick. And I thought that shit was disgusting.
Wait a minute, man. Don't say that. That's crazy. See, the truth shall set you free. So you mean to tell me, I mean, because it's got to be some girls out there who really, really like this. And got to be some men out there that really, really like it. But, oh my God, because when she was saying that, I'm thinking that Diddy made her lay there while these men used the bathroom on her. Golly, he's saying, and I mean, he was there, and he like, I'm not doing that. I wouldn't do that either, bruh. I'm with you on that one.
Explain to me why she liked being pissed on. She told me she likes the warm feeling of urine running down her body, this nasty chick. And I thought that shit was disgusting when she told me that. I said, are you serious? But the way she explained it, I knew she was telling the truth. So I said, listen, shorty, I can't pee on you. That's not for me. But I will have sex with you. And clearly, I'm going to have good sex with you. She said, you know what? You don't have to do it. She stopped. They used to collect my semen in the cup. Probably for a year or so, I wanted to say, and so I actually started orgasm inside of her. Then they stopped asking me because she just started telling me, like, come in. And I was stupid. I was young. I actually believed that because I beat Daniel Phillip, I was her only boy toy. So I thought the pussy was clean. And I'm just slaying it. Every time she's telling me, I'm straight making deposits.
Why would they collect your semen?
I didn't know. I thought it was weird. I complained for a few months until finally, I want to say it was maybe a year and a half in, they were doing it. I watch a lot of forensic TV, so I would get scared. I'm thinking he's using my DNA to try to set me up, some crazy shit. And I finally flipped out on him like, yo, listen, I'm not giving y'all no more cum. Y'all taking my cum. Y'all going to the next room. Like, what the hell y'all doing with my cum? It's creeping me out.
You know what they was doing with it, bruh. They was letting Diddy play with it. I don't know what. Was he rubbing it on his nip? Come on in. Oh, my God, man. You know what they was doing.
She told me that she used to drink it because he liked to see her play with semen. I said, you could do that right in front of him. Yeah. But she told me that encounter, she would never ask me again. I said, okay. And she never asked me again. Instead, she started asking me to come inside of it.
I ain't
and
mad
I was
at
foolish.
you.
I did.
I'm not mad at you for turning around. Oh, Lordy day.
What's the name of the book?
Cassie, Victim or Co-Conspirator.
Oh, my God. Oh. Woosah. She said, what's the name of the book?
She would never ask me again. I said, okay. And she never asked me again. Instead, she started asking me to come inside.
Watch when she turned back around.
And I was foolish. I did.
Watch when she like, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
What's the name of the book?
Cassie, Victim or Co-Conspirator. The story of Dave. Because the story of Dave is the truth and it needs to be told. She's not a victim. She's a victim of domestic violence. She deserves justice for that. She definitely does. And I think she got justice. She got $20 million worth of justice. Shorty straight. But to lie and say he forced you into this sexual whole innuendo of swinging and depravity, that's a lie. You're only doing that so you can reestablish yourself and gain back the hold'em. You know, everybody knows because most of the people in the game know she was a hoe. I know things about her now that I know the situation's over. She was sleeping with people for years. The only way she can absolve that former whole activity is to say, Diddy made me do it. I'm going to give you an example. She testified in the trial. She said that she was made to have sex with male prostitutes on her period. Tasha, that's a lie. She sexually assaulted me and forced herself on me on her period because she was mad. I didn't want to come to LA and I was with my girlfriend for my anniversary. And I know this because she told me. It's in my book. You can read it. She flies me to LA. I get to LA. She's pissed off because I chose my girlfriend, my real life girlfriend, over this R&B singer dating a billionaire who I have absolutely no chance of securing and holding. I'm not stupid, but I'm in a committed relationship. But basically, I needed her money. So I had to make the decision to forego my anniversary or be fired by Cassie and fly to LA or stay with my girlfriend. I sold out. I chose the money, Tasha. I flew to LA.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, the Beverly Hills Hotel. I meet her at the Beverly Hills Hotel. These freak-offs were always so ritualistic. I mean, there was candles throughout the room. The furniture would be covered. There would be like a platter with Astroglide and baby oil, and then another platter with like Ciroc, which is crazy. I never knew it was Diddy. DeLeon, water, things like that. But this time I went there. This one time, the entire living room was dark, which I thought was weird. Basically, in this encounter, what she does is she keeps the room dark so I can't see the fact that she's menstruating. She kind of seduces me into thinking that we're going to have sex regularly because, again, I don't know she's on a menstrual cycle. She gets on top of me. She grabs my member. She inserts it in her because she's already wet. She's on her menstrual cycle. She orgasms real quick, and then I push her off of me, cut the lights on, and it literally looks like the St. Valentine's Day massacre. It's blood everywhere because she's heavily on her period. So I'm pissed. I'm like, I said, why would you do something like that to me? This is disgusting. Tasha, the girl is totally shitting on me. She's like, so what? So what? And she's arrogant about it. So Diddy's sitting there watching it. He's her man. He's her protector. I'm getting more and more aggressive. I'm calling her nasty bitchs. I'm pissed. He says, yo, you know something, bro? You mad cool. It's been like 6-7 years. I'm not going to lie to you. She knew she was on her period. She just really wanted you to come here. You see how we was calling you. You see how she demanded you come. So she had sex with you. He was like, yo, it was wrong. I'm going to give you some money. Calm down. Let's not do this. We've been seeing each other too long. He really used to try to be a mediator. I'm not going to lie. He goes in the room. He gets me like $5,000. He comes out. He gives me $5,000 to stop arguing with her. Tasha, I stopped arguing with her. He says, yo, go check it in your room. He gives me a key for my suite in the Beverly Hills Hotel. I take my $5 cash. I go to my room. I go to sleep. I wake up the next day. She calls me that night. She apologizes about the night before. She says, listen, I was drunk. I'm on my period. I was horny. You really disappointed me by the fact that you didn't want to come. And she said, yeah, what I did was wrong. I'm sorry. I should have told you I was on my period. She totally apologized. So how could you get on the stand and tell the stand that Diddy made you have sex with me when you know for a fact that I know that that's a lie? Yeah. I don't want to say I feel bad for Diddy because I know the women are going to destroy me, but I kind of feel bad for him because he's not totally being lied on, but his bitter ex-girlfriend who
You didn't smell it? You didn't smell the period blood?
Wow. No, actually, I got to be fair. Her vagina never stunk. Never stunk.
All that fuck is she doing?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't first of all, me not being a female, and I never had S with anybody that was on a period. I didn't know it has a smell to it. I never smelled anything different when they on a period. I ain't know that. What?
You didn't smell it?
And I'm 59. Think about that. Yeah, y'all know.
I feel bad for Diddy because I know the women are going to destroy me, but I kind of feel bad for him because he's not totally being lied on, but his bitter ex-girlfriend who
You didn't smell it? You didn't smell the period blood?
No, actually, I got to be fair. Her vagina never stunk. Never.
Oh my God.
Never stunk.
All that fuck is she doing?
Never stunk. Never. Maybe she kept herself clean for me. I don't know, but she smelled like lavender every time I touched her. She never stunk. Never.
Did he call you for the other Jane Does, or you only just serviced her?
Only her. I never met Christina Coram. I never saw any of the staff. I was meticulously hidden from sight because I was specifically hired to service Cassie. I think the only person
So let me say this. Y'all were pretty much, all three of you guys, in a relationship.
Kind of, yeah, with him being the supervisor, yes. With no homosexual activity. Let's make that clear.
I'm
he
with
never
you, bro.
tried to.
Oh no, he did try, but nothing ever happened. He tried me. I want to say he tried me once.
Back up. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean?
Juicy.
Diddy Puff Daddy Sean Combs tried to what with you?
He didn't try to what with me. He tried to psych me out into fucking him. I don't want to blow up my whole book, but I'll tell you basically what happened.
They're gonna buy it anyway. They're gonna buy it anyway. Don't worry. We got a whole week worth of promotions. Just give me that motherfucking link. We support up over here. Go. We ain't even drop this bitch on YouTube. Wait till we drop the bitch on YouTube. See, I wanted you to be able to say what the fuck you wanted to say without YouTube burying the shit.
And I thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Anytime. That's what we over here for. Okay, so Diddy tried to do what to you now during the freak off?
Okay. So in I want to say it was 2015 or 2016, I fly to Miami to meet them. I think it was March 2016 because I think it was Ultra Weekend. There's like a huge festival that goes on in Miami for the music industry every year.
Okay.
So I stay out there. I go meet them at the one hotel, the SLS. That was the hotel I met them at. I meet them. They're in this penthouse suite overlooking the Miami beach. He's high out of his face. He's rolling. I think he's high on ecstasy because I can see his eyes rolling. He's high out of his face. I and Cassie go out on the balcony. I'm naked. Cassie's naked. You know, we're both in amazing shape. He's like, yo, wow, y'all motherfuckers look good. Yo, you look like God. And he's doing all of this complimenting, which was weird because I'm like, dude, I'm naked and I'm standing naked with your girl. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Long story short, Cassie had some sense. She's like, listen, you are too, no, you got to go inside because paparazzi watches. If they catch a glimpse of me with a naked chocolate man like you, I'm going to have a problem. She brings me back inside the suite. She goes into the master bedroom to get ready for the freak off. So while I'm waiting in the living room, Puff pulls out the piano seat. He sits at the grand piano behind the door and he starts, he gives me a joint. So, you know, he and I are sitting there smoking a joint. He says, yo, you got any kids? At the time, I had no children. He was like, yo, what you doing with yourself? So I told him I was in optician school. I was doing this, you know, basic bullshit conversation. So he sits there and, you know, he's like, I can tell he wants to ask me something. So I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? And he says, yo, you know, nah, never mind. I said, yo, just speak your mind. Like, what's wrong with you? He was like, yo, so are you gay? I said, what? Where the fuck did that just come from? Why would you even ask me something like that the way I'm busting your shorty down? So I got angry. And I start cursing him out. I'm like, yo, you're a freaking weirdo. So I'm going off on him. Cassie comes out. She's like, yo, what's wrong? I said, yo, this guy just asked me, am I gay? Like, what type of shit is he on? So she looked at him and she was like, don't pay him no attention. He's high. And she laughed it off. So I'm thinking, you know, whatever. I'm still going in on him, though, because I believe strongly that he asked me because he wanted to see if I was going to sleep with him. So I still kept going in. The thing about Puff is he doesn't like negativity. He'll give you money to shut up. So I'm going in on him like, yo, what's wrong with you? You gay or something? Why are you asking me, am I gay? I ain't never gave you no sign I'm gay. Dude, you don't catch me looking at you. I damn sure don't want to see your penis. I'm going in on him. He goes in the room. He comes out with a wad of money, throws it at me. Shut up about that shit. Okay, I shut up. You know, it don't take too much to get me to shut up. You pay me.
Especially with money.
With the freak off now. So now he wants to have the freak off. He wants the voyeur. He wants to watch. He tells me and Cassie to go in the bedroom. He commands her to lay on the bed and play with herself. He directs me to stand off to the corner and masturbate while we have the baby oil on and watch, because that was the setup. The freak-offs would be in stages. The first stage would be like a soft foreplay where she and I was made to sit back and masturbate and watch each other and kind of build up the passion and the heat of the situation. The next phase would be her giving me fellatio. Things like that, the touching, that's when he would allow us to touch. The third phase would usually be the intercourse. And the intercourse would usually be the final stage to climax when she climaxed, because she always used to climax before me until we started using the excessive amounts of baby oil. And then that would usually wrap up that session into another session, which would probably be 20, 30, no more than 30 minutes later, because she was high and she would need to do this. So during this encounter, he calls me in the room. She and I are in stage one. He's watching me. I can see him watching me through the corner of his eyes. And, you know, it feels weird, but I'm trying not to pay attention to him. I'm focusing on a woman. She looks great. It's not hard to stay focused on her. All of a sudden, he jumps up and he starts to act like he's, you know, going to eat a vagina, which he never did. Never. It had been, this was 2015, I think it was. I saw him for 6 years. I never saw him eat a vagina. But this day, he gets up and he buries his face in her vagina. Eating a vagina. But now here's the thing. While he's doing it,
he busted in her?
No, I didn't yet. No, we hadn't had sex yet. But while he's doing it, he tells me to keep masturbating so she can watch. Okay, no problem. So now I'm watching her masturbating, but he's eating out her vagina, shifting his anus in my view. So it's distracting me because I can't see her vagina. I can see his anus. So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I'm gonna let you finish your spin.
Okay, go ahead.
So I see what he's doing, and at first I didn't realize what he was doing. I just got annoyed, so I moved to another side of the bed. I believe I moved to the right just so I would be at an angle to see past him. He waits maybe 2 seconds. He scoots his ass back in front of my view. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I'm getting mad. I'm like,
it is. We're gonna continue. It is official, man. This guy, the way he's talking, the way he's telling the story, he can't be making this up. He got to be telling the truth. He got to be. Diddy is. It's too many stories out there that this. I guess if you got a Tootsie Roll, you need the Tootsie Roll is not being pleasured, so you need to get pleasured another way.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, man.
I see what he's doing, and at first I didn't realize what he was doing. I just got annoyed, so I moved to another side of the bed. I believe I moved to the right just so I would be at an angle to see past him. He waits maybe 2 seconds. He scoots his ass back in front of my view. Damn. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I'm getting mad. I'm like, what is this guy doing? So I moved back to the left side of the bed. Sure enough, a couple of seconds later, he does it again. Finally, I said, yo, what's wrong with you, man? You blocking my view with your ass. Can you stop? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. He got up. He gets back in the seat like he's going to start his voyeurism again, watching. And he tells us we can go ahead. She says, can I get some dick? He says, yeah. So I jump on her to go have sex with her. She and I start to get involved in the sexual encounter. He says, stop. Let us talk for a second. So now I have to leave the room. That's the order for me to leave the room. Okay. I'm outside. I'm gonna be honest. I was already involved in sex with her, so I was hard. You know, I'm kind of horny. I'm like, you know what? Let me just get it out, so I'm not standing here all hard dick, looking like an idiot when she come out here. She comes out and catches me whacking off, and she starts laughing at me. She's like, yo, you gotta go. I'm like, I gotta go. Why? And she's like, yo, you gotta go. I'll see you later. She's like, yo, you passed though. And I said, I passed. What do you mean I passed? She was like, yo, you passed. She gives me a big hug. She kisses me. She says, yo, you passed. When I call you later, it's going down. I was like, all right, whatever. I left. I started walking around the strip. I didn't really know what she was talking about till probably later that night when I thought about it. Why is he doing that? Because he was trying to entice me to make me think that his asshole was the same as her vagina. And he was hoping that I might have been high and did it. But I wasn't. So that's the only time he propositioned me. Well, I feel he propositioned me because he definitely did that, hoping that he can manipulate me into possibly sleeping with him.
What?
What's the name of the book again?
Cassie, Victim of Co-Conspirator, Story of Pain.
Okay. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
What's the name of that book again?
No, Tasha, I want to thank you for allowing me to finally get this out before the public.
Anytime.
It has been a nightmare, you know, like I've been living here in my name. I'm not allowed to tell my story. There people are creating narratives that are not true. I might have been a male escort, but I wasn't nasty. I didn't sleep with women unprotected. Cassie she conned me into believing that I was in a monogamous, exclusive relationship being paid because her boyfriend had a small penis. I saw her boyfriend had a small penis. Why would I think she's lying? I didn't know she was sleeping with 30 or 40 men. So I'm not the nasty one. She's the nasty one because she was tricking all these men into unprotected sex and to whatever she was doing. And now she wants to claim that she was being forced. Absolutely not. So I'm thankful to you that you allowed me to tell this story because Cassie is not a victim of sex trafficking.
Itty bitty, ain't you weenie. There's a song that says that.
It's going out next week. Winos. Thank Dave, okay, because Dave was one of the first sources to come to us and give y'all this exclusive first. I'm sorry that the other platforms are not being courteous. And that's why we are getting a lot of the guests on our platform because, you know, we're not, you know, yeah, we have our opinions, but at the end of the day, your story is your story.
Your story.
We don't get in the way of
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah. So
I noticed you don't lie on people, and that's what I like about you. You don't.
And like I said, the phone lines are always open for y'all to come on down and correct some shit. And so It is what it is. But thank you, Dave. Victim or Co-Conspirator is going to be live on victimorcoconspirator.com. That's victimorcoconspirator.com. And I'm going to say that one more time, victimorcoconspirator.com, written by Dave. He was a male escort to Cassie and Diddy for 8 years. Okay. And so, yeah, we will be in contact. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much, Tasha.
All righty. Bye-bye. I don't even know what to say. And don't forget, today we are offering on shoptkdeals.com to see my...
You don't know what to say. Jesus Christ. He said Diddy kept trying to put his back door all in his face. And then Cassie said he passed. And get out of here, man. It's too much. But he kept going. If you're getting $5,000 a day, or a session, should I say, hey, I'm in the wrong business. I'm just playing, man. I'm just joking. I'm too old for that. Oops, I'm going to get in trouble. Hey, y'all let me know what y'all think, man, in the comments. I can't wait till this hit the I'm just reporting it. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know who's lying. But there's a lot of things that this brother's saying that's like, wow. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.